What the heck, guys? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of What the Heck, where I'm taking a look at a few things I found on the internet that made me what the heck, and I hope they make you what the heck too. For all you people that can't get enough internet shopping and thought to yourself, oh man, I really need to get a new perfume or a new cologne. I want a new scent, a new something to make me go, oh yeah, that's unique, that's different, that's expensive. Well, look no further. NASA had originally developed a scent that's out of this world. It's outer space, so to speak. And it's to get astronauts used to the scent of space. Because you figure they're in these space stations, they're in these spacecrafts, and a lot of the air is recirculated. So NASA, to get their astronauts used to the scents that they were going to be experiencing, because who knows how many months they orbit the Earth or how many days or whoever, I don't know how long they stay up there. How long do they stay up there? It's actually a NASA secret, but they're officially going to release it to the public so you can buy it yourself and get yourself something that's very, very fancy. But what does it smell like? Some astronauts describe the smell as seared steak and raspberries with like metal and grease. I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing. Another astronaut by the name of Alexander Gerst said that space smells like a combination of fragrances, namely walnuts and like brake pads from like a motorcycle. Yes, it is a real thing. Right now, it's currently being backed on Kickstarter, just in case you are curious enough to go and try to fund the project before it becomes readily available on probably Amazon or something. Just in case you want to just be one of the first civilians to smell like an astronaut or smell like outer space, which is just a weird thing to say. I want to smell like outer space. It's not like, I wish I could smell like daisies or I wish I could smell like roses. No. Seared steak and raspberries with a bit of grease. That's what I want. That's the smell. Whatever the case may be, buying it or funding it on Kickstarter might be a good option, because even though it may smell nasty, come on. That right there, that's a limited collector's piece. That's like something you put up like next to all your fine china and you go, yeah, that's space smell right there.
What the heck?
I ended up coming across another space themed story that made me what the heck. NASA apparently is holding a toilet design contest. Yep. It's time to get creative with that porcelain throne. NASA is holding a design contest for average Joes like you and me to come up with a toilet that can work with the moon's gravitational pull. I mean, right here on Earth, we'd be dropping deuces left and right without thinking about it. But in outer space, especially on the moon, there's less gravity, which means more fall time. I don't know. I've never really thought about it. On the moon, it's not complete weightlessness, but it's not like 0 G's either. Because I mean, have you seen the toilet on the space station? The toilet on the space station is pretty much like a giant vacuum with like tubes, and it looks like a really rusty bucket. And I mean, whatever goes on, I don't want to be there. Like, I don't know. It just gives me a weird feeling. Like, just looking at it. It doesn't look like something I would like want to sit on. I don't know about you. Now, when it comes to NASA's design for the new toilet, anybody can go ahead and sign up to be a designer for the toilet. But I mean, I kind of have a design that I've been thinking of for a while now. You think NASA's heard of the 3 seashells?
Sir, I formally convey my presence. How you doing?
We are not used to physical contact greetings.
Look, I don't know if you guys know, but you're out of toilet paper.
The place where you're supposed to have the toilet paper, you got this little shelf with 3 seashells on it.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
What the heck? Come on, NASA. You gotta step up your game. Come on. We on top of this. We already know 3 seashells. That's the future. What the heck? Streaming wars. That's our next story. It's happening everywhere. We went from having big, clunky cable packages that, came with satellite TV with over 1,000 channels, and half of them are just music, which isn't really a channel. That's more of a radio station. They bamboozled us. Instead, nowadays, people opt out of that to only pay for things that they actually want to watch. So, get a little package for your kids and it be only kids shows, or get something for adults that are just, movies and horror shows or whatever. All of a sudden, boom, now every channel is trying to get into your household. Doesn't matter whether or not it's the actual like TV channel, or if it's like the sub channel to like show bundles for you to watch like things at home that are segregated from the other things because they want to be unique, such as like FX. The only way you can get It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is to stream through FX, unless you have like Hulu, or if you have like the big cable companies, because you can't just watch that like on Netflix. But then you need Netflix to be able to watch like other things, but then you can't watch the Disney movies, so then you have to get Disney Plus. And now all of a sudden, instead of having one package that has everything, we have a gajillion packages that ends up costing around the same price. It's just on demand with some or little to no commercials. You still get commercials. Hulu still has commercials. I don't like having the commercial. With the Netflix series Witcher being such a big fan tease, such a big thing, especially in the video gaming community, we got another high profile streaming service out there that wants to chime in on that cheddar. And yes, we're talking about Amazon, as if they didn't already take control of enough things already. Amazon decided to make their own video game themed show after they partnered up with none other than Bethesda. For those of you who don't know what exactly the Fallout series is, let me break it down to you, son. I'm what you call a veteran gamer. This kind of thing is my forte. So the Fallout series takes place in a post-apocalyptic wasteland that happened after pretty much like a nuclear apocalypse. So, for example, Fallout 4, you're a person that got chose to go into a underground bunker and get cryogenically frozen until for 50 years or something like that. So then you can reemerge in a new Earth and hopefully be away or avoiding most of the radiation and be able to repopulate and refix all the damage that was caused by the nuclear holocaust. But in the stories, there's always some sort of random turn of events where on Fallout 4, you wake up from being frozen just for a split second and see that the baby that you had cryogenically frozen with you is torn from your arms, and your loved one is pretty much murdered on sight. And then when you finally wake up from your chamber, you are on a mission to go find your youngling. That's already a roller coaster in itself. There is a bunch of monsters that got created with all the nuclear radiation. There's these people called the Scorched, which look like really bad burn victims, and most of the time the Scorched have like their minds erased and they become like mindless kind of like things, but they know how to use weapons. So that's already like chaos within itself. Then just like another big fan series, The Walking Dead, there's a bunch of factions out there of people who want to start their own societies and they're against everyone else. So then there's a lot of like fighting back and forth and everyone's trying to gain power. Game of Thrones all over again, but with guns and monsters. That's what I'm expecting from this. The odd thing about this is the directors whom decided to go ahead and take up the challenge of making the Fallout series is the directors of none other than Westworld. Never really watched the series, so yeah. The only thing I know about it is it's almost like it takes place in the Wild West, but there's like robots and there's a sci-fi aspect. Who knows if it deals with aliens? I've seen photos of like people that look like robots or cyborgs. So I mean, if you really think about it, maybe there are some robot cyborgs that came from the past. The thing that I thought was most curious was the Fallout series, being that it's video game based, actually did a countersuit against the people who made video games for Westworld, because Westworld actually directly copied a Bethesda mobile app game a while back. This lawsuit happened back in 2018, where Bethesda claimed that the people that made the Westworld game did a blatant ripoff 100% of the game, including all of the game's bugs. When Bethesda took it to court, they even proved some of the game bugs that were in the game were identical to the game bugs in the Westworld game, like down to the exact way that they typed out the bugs in the code. So, I mean, maybe this is like payback for that? Maybe they signed some sort of secret contract saying they should have to do some sort of partnership in the future. You can see in this side-by-side comparison where Westworld, being on the left side, looks almost exactly as the Fallout shelter on the right, where you make some sort of underground bunker and you have to make different resources to where one makes energy, the other one harvests water and all this good stuff. But regardless, these are the same people that are going to be making the Fallout series TV show. What is it going to be about? Regardless of what it's about, what I'm hoping is Amazon takes cue from one of their more popular TV shows and makes it just as gritty, just as violent, and just as crazy as The Boys. If you've seen The Boys, you know what I'm talking about. This is a show that brings out, I mean, it's a show that's as real as it can get. It puts in the limelight the real way society would make superheroes. I mean, everyone has this evil side. Everyone has, you know, a good conscience and a bad conscience. And those people with powers decide to exploit, you know, the evil side of themselves whilst appearing good, you know, all for their own personal gain, which is a crazy, crazy concept. Normally all these Marvel movies going around, everyone's just a hero and everyone's good-hearted. But in The Boys, that's not the case. And it is crazy. That's it for today's episode of What the Heck. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you what the heck. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the links for the Chunkizzle merch shop in the description. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya!
Who even watches this show? What the heck? What the heck? Is that supposed to be a t-shirt? What the heck is this?